Hey everybody, and welcome to yet another review of my 690. This time, I want to talk a little about some observations I made during the Trans-Wisconsin trip. If you've seen the TWAT video, you'll know I wasn't all that impressed with the trail, and there was a lot more highway driving than I'd hoped or expected. I spent a lot of hours in the seat, and my ass was sore. We rode nearly 9 hours the first day, 8 hours the second day, and then 6 on the trip home. Now, I've said the stock seat on my 2017 is fine. I still feel that way to an extent, but also I'm not sure if getting a seat Concepts will be enough of an improvement. Before you start, I've already owned a seat Concepts on my old 450L. That was a huge improvement from a stock motocross seat and well worth the price. However, for the 690, the seat Concepts is even more expensive, and the stock seat is much better than people give it credit for. For the 2019 and up 690s, it's a different story. Those seats are pretty bad. But as for me, another issue with getting a seat Concepts is that I'm afraid the saddlebags won't fit right, and the straps could potentially wreck the seat because the seat is softer, wider, and taller than stock. However, after looking over the saddlebag system some more, I've concluded that it likely will not be a problem. I don't carry a ton of weight in those bags, and the adjustability should allow them to fit. In any case, I could always just add some padding in spots or gaps that might present a problem. The final thing that's keeping me from buying a new seat is the price, which ranges from $370 to nearly $400 for the Comfort XL. Although, after watching a review from Johannes Motorcycle Adventures, I realized I actually have it pretty good. Because he lives in Norway, the total cost for him to get a seat Concepts was around $600. I'm not going to complain then. Still, I'm going to have to save up a little before buying anything else for the bike. In the meantime, I'll just have to limit my long road trips. If the TWAT were more like a BDR, there'd likely be more opportunity to stand, or I might just take more breaks. But for future travels, I'll definitely consider trailering the bike if the destination is a couple hundred miles away. Now, another thing I realized on my trip was how convenient a battery charger is. My cousin installed a 12-volt cigarette lighter style charger on his bike, and we ended up sharing it so I could keep my phone and cardo going on the second day of the trip. I tried getting a USB type charger last fall, but I ordered it from KTM Twins, who showed it being in stock, but then emailed me later saying it was actually out of stock. As I've said in the past, this is a common thing with them. So I canceled my order and just sort of forgot about it until now. But after the trip, I went to aomc.mx and picked up one from them. It only has an output of 5 volts, but that's pretty standard for modern electronics. Installation was fairly easy. On my model, there are 2 pairs of accessory plugs tucked away behind the headlight. They're marked ACC1 and ACC2. ACC1 provides power to the charger whether the key is on or off. ACC2 only provides power when the key is on. I went with ACC1 because the danger of draining the battery overnight with just a phone or headset is fairly low. Finally, the last takeaway from my trip was how loud the Wing's exhaust is. Up until now it hasn't bothered me, but with long, droning sections of highway, it's convinced me to swap out the loud tip for the quiet dB killer. But that's really it. Only minor tweaks are coming for the 690. It handled the TWAT perfectly, as expected. If it can handle Moab, it can handle Wisconsin. The tail rack worked really well for strapping down my Alice pack, which contained my sleeping bag, pillow, and clothes. It did jump around a bit on the ATV trails, and a section of the metal frame started to wear on the rack, but with a little padding, it won't be a problem in the future. Of course, stopping for gas meant having to take the pack off, but I had it down to a science. It only took me a few seconds to take it off and put it back on again. The saddlebags were also great for carrying items that I might need fast access to. I also attached my 2 rubber straps holding my Alice pack down to the rear D-rings of the saddle system, which is what they're meant for in the first place. It all just seemed to work out perfectly. And of course, I'd also like to mention that I finally put the 690 in advanced mode, and wow, does it make a difference. I really was holding myself back by keeping it in standard mode all this time. It's like a totally different machine. Sadly, I've heard the new bikes have even stricter emissions, and so the throttle maps may not be the same or as enjoyable to use. Perhaps a power commander from Rottweiler Performance could help solve this. I might even consider getting one myself just for better low RPM performance. I looked into it a little bit, and I honestly think it might be worth doing. I'll link a video here that kind of helps illustrate what's going on with emissions, and why you see better performance in the higher RPM range. Anyways, that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.
Hallo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao